What it is, Minecrafters? See what I did there? I'm so funny. Anyway, besides my awesome jokes and Minecraft abilities, I'm bringing you a special segment called The History Of. Today I'm bringing you the history of everybody's favorite game, Minecraft, by telling you about each of the game's major updates and most notable features each update gave us. This will only apply to the Java version of the game, as that's been around the longest of any of the versions. Minecraft was created in 2009 by my man Marcus Notch Person and Mojang Studios. Minecraft would be developed under the well-known title of Cave Game. Minecraft started as a very simple, silly block game with not much to do. The pre-alpha days were not the most exciting, yet during this year, many features that would shape the game today would be added. These were of course farming, multiplayer, survival mode, crafting, rails, and minecarts, as well as infinite worlds. About halfway through 2010, the game went into its alpha build and introduced redstone, compasses, the nether, and various biomes. The alpha build would not last long because in December of 2010, just 4 months later, Minecraft would go into its beta. The beta would be a very interesting time for development as it lasted until November of 2011 and would add many extraordinary features. These include beds, hunger, pistons, wolves, maps, and most notably Endermen. On November 18th, 2011, Minecraft officially launched as a full game with version 1.0.0. This update would include potions, breeding, enchanting, and most importantly, the end. Yes, players now have a way to officially beat Minecraft. So with the game finally out of beta on January 12th, 2012, Minecraft received its first major update as an officially released game. This update would add spawn eggs and super flat worlds. Version 1.2 would be released later that same year and would add abandoned mine shafts, jungles, and iron golems. Now with each subsequent update in 2012 and into 2013, Minecraft would soon become a global phenomenon. Version 1.3 added trading, temples in jungles and deserts, as well as emeralds and ender chests. Version 1.4 would be the last major update in 2012, and from this point on, each update would be given a name in order to make it more recognizable. The Pretty Scary update was the name given to version 1.4 for one major reason. This update would see the introduction of the Wither, yes, a second boss added to the game. Now in 2013, Minecraft reached its peak according to Google Trends. After this year, Minecraft would only be on a steady decline until years later in 2019. The first major update in 2013 was 1.5, the Redstone update, and I'll give you a second to guess why it's called that. Alright, are you ready? Well, the game would add basically every major redstone feature you use, such as hoppers, daylight sensors, and comparators. Version 1.6 was called the Horse Update. This update would add, you guessed it, horses. Version 1.7 would be a huge update. In fact, I would be willing to say one of the most groundbreaking updates to date. The update that changed the world is what it would be called, and boy oh boy did it live up to its name. This update completely changed the world and its biome generation. This would add 11 new biomes to the game, including the Mesa and Mega Taiga. There was only one major update in 2014, and that was 1.8, the Bountiful update. This update would add ocean monuments, slime blocks, as well as the stone trio of andesite, diorite, and granite. Following 1.8, Minecraft would undergo its biggest change yet. On November 6, 2014, Mojang Studios was purchased by Microsoft for the whopping price of $2.5 billion. This transaction would be considered by many to be the worst thing to happen to Minecraft to date. The following year of 2015 would be a relatively quiet year with no major update. Now the main reason many consider the purchase of Minecraft by Microsoft to be horrible is because after a year with no major update, the first update they released is 1.9. This would add end cities, elytras, the ability to use your second hand, and shields. However, this was not the main takeaway from the update. Now those who have been playing Minecraft for a while will know this as the single most polarizing update the game has ever seen. It was referred to as the combat update because it completely changed the way combat in the game operates. Many players would end up leaving the game, and at the time, the vast majority of servers refused to update their servers to the new version due to the new combat system. At this point in the game's life, 2016 was a year which many of you may remember due to various events involving a gorilla. The second update of 2016 was version 1.10, called the Frostburn update. This update would introduce polar bears, magma blocks, husks, and strays. Version 1.11 would be called the Exploration update, and would be the last update of 2016. This update would add the largest naturally generated structure to Minecraft as of this recording. This would be none other than the Woodland Mansion, and all of its features, as well as shulker boxes and llamas. In 2017, version 1.12 was released as the World of Color update. This update saw concrete added to the game, as well as parrots, glazed terracotta, and dyeable beds. Despite only a single update, the devs would do something new and unprecedented. They allowed us, the players, to pick what features should be added to the game. This would be available via a vote during what they called Minecon Earth 2017, which for those of you who may not know, is a live stream that has been held every year since 2017, which replaced the in-person Minecons of previous years. Each year, they would show off new features in the next update, as well as show off other cool, interesting mechanics coming to the game. The first year was a vote on which mob would be added to the game. Each mob was given a basic design, and we were told enough to just get by. The mob which won the vote would later be known as the Phantom, and would come in the next big update. The sad part is that the devs stressed that the other 3 mobs shown would never come to the game, ever. In 2018, 1.13 Update Aquatic was released. This update would completely revamp the oceans in Minecraft, adding more blocks, fish, ocean types, and plenty of other awesome features, and plenty of other horrible features like the Phantom. Seriously, why the Phantom? Did you vote for the Phantom? Be honest now, I've got my eye on you. Minecon Earth 2018 took place months after the Aquatic update and allowed the player to vote on which biome would receive a massive change. Unlike the previous vote, all options to choose from would eventually be added to the game. The choices were between the desert, taiga, and savanna. The taiga won the vote, and with the update would come foxes, sweet berry bushes, and campfires. 2019 saw a few big changes introduced. The first was version 1.14, otherwise known as the Village and Pillage update. This update added pillagers, a complete overhaul to how villagers work, how the villages look, and the update to the taigas from the last player vote. This was also around the time when Minecraft started to pick up again on Google Trends and return to the main stage once again. This update would also see Minecraft soar up the list on what was trending according to Google, even passing games like Fortnite. The next major event in 2019 was Minecon Live 2019, not to be confused with Minecon Earth, but it's basically the same thing. This vote was another biome vote, this time taking place between the Badlands, formerly called the Mesa, the Swamp, and the Mountains. The Mountains would win this vote and offered powdered snow and goats. The second update to come in 2019 was version 1.15 Buzzy Bees. This update didn't do much beyond adding bees and honey and bug fixes. Fairly boring update compared to previous years. Version 1.16 was the biggest and most anticipated update to the game when it was first revealed. The only update to 2020 due to how massive it was. This was the Nether update. This update saw a complete overhaul, rework, and revamp of the Nether. Gone were the days of walking through a barren wasteland, now you can travel through a less barren and even deadlier wasteland. The Nether would receive new mobs, new biomes, new blocks, a new armor set, and so much more. Aside from the Nether update, Minecraft Live 2020 occurred, which has once again changed its name. This time there was another mob vote. Now this vote was extremely controversial due to a certain defamed Minecraft speedrunner rigging the votes. The competitors would be the Moo Bloom, a yellow cow with flowers, the Glow Squid, a green glowing squid, and the Iceologer, an illager who lives on the top of mountains and throws ice at the player. The Glow Squid would win, and players were by no means happy. So far, 2 mob votes, and each one has led to an unhappy player base. The latest Minecraft update was 1.17, which came out earlier this year. Now this is where Minecraft updates go on a bit of a roller coaster. This update was supposed to completely redo how caves and mountains are generated, increase the build height, as well as make the worlds go deeper. This, however, was not the case. Due to the size of the update and how ambitious it was, it had to be divided into 2 parts. The update was titled Caves and Cliffs. Due to how massive, ambitious, and game-changing this update planned to be, it's no surprise it had to be divided into 2 parts. Aside from the mountains getting an insane rework as promised by the vote in 2018, terrain and biome generation would be altered entirely. The first part to Caves and Cliffs was version 1.17. This update added a majority of the blocks and items that would be part of this update, like the geo, goats, and the glow squid. Version 1.18 is set to come out later this year. The update would add the all-new terrain generation like larger caves, new cave types, a deeper overworld, all-new mountain generation, and a massively increased build height. Now before we received the actual Caves and Cliffs, Minecraft Live 2021 had to take place. This event took place just a few weeks ago, and we saw not only another mob vote, but also teasers and trailers to the next update. The vote this year was between the Glare, Allay, and Copper Golem. If for whatever reason you don't know about these mobs, I suggest watching the videos put out about each mob. As you may know, the Allay won the vote. Nobody is certain if this mob is coming in 1.18 or the recently announced 1.19. Version 1.19 is set to release at some point in 2022. This update is currently known as the Wild Update. The information released at Minecraft Live 2021 consisted of 2 major changes. The first being a change to the swamps, which contain features shown off in the vote of 2019. This would add a new tree type, frogs, and fireflies. The next, and by far the most featured part of the update, was the change to the Deep Dark. Many of you may know that the Deep Dark was supposed to come with Caves and Cliffs, then it was supposed to come out with Part 2, and now it's delayed again. However, this delay seems to only be for the better, as not only does the Deep Dark look astonishing, but the Warden seems to be even more formidable. These next 2 Minecraft updates will be some of the most anticipated ever, as practically everyone who has ever played the game has wanted an update to the caves, as well as making the overworld more interesting. Minecraft has only been growing in popularity over this past few years, and it's clear as to why. Alrighty fellas, that's all for now, back to the epic gameplay.